There's new research out this morning that suggests there has been a record drop in greenhouse gases worldwide, largely because of COVID-19 and the world's response to it. Dominic Velitis is here with the new findings. Dominic?
Good morning, Heather. We're talking here about carbon emissions produced from a range of activities, so burning coal, oil and gas for things like power and transport. But we're also talking about carbon emissions which are produced from things like making cement and general industrial processes. The headline figure from researchers today is that worldwide, Heather, carbon emissions have declined by about 7% this year, which equates to around 2.4 billion tonnes of the stuff. Now, you might be wondering how Canada has fared with all this. We can show you the figure now. The country has seen a reduction of about 7% in carbon emissions this year. But that overall figure is a huge one, and it is one, Heather, that has dwarfed previous falls in carbon emissions. For example, back in 2009, during the global economic recession, the fall in carbon emissions then was about 500 million tonnes, while the ending of the Second World War, all the way back in 1945, saw a fall of just under 1 billion tonnes. So that's the big headline, the big picture. If we zoom in on the figures a little bit, Heather, we can see that carbon emissions in the United States have dropped by 12%, while in the European Union they've dropped by 11%. Zoom in even further again on these figures, Heather, and France has seen the biggest fall in emissions at 15%, followed closely by the UK, where a 13% fall was recorded. Now, researchers say there are a couple of reasons why France and the UK have come out on top. Both of these countries had big lockdowns, which were arguably more severe than some other countries, but also both countries produce a lot of their carbon emissions from their respective transport sectors, which of course was scaled back during lockdowns because people were at home. Heather.
Dominic, so the pandemic and the world's response, people effectively sheltering in place, has had a positive impact. I guess that seems logical. Then project out for us when things get back to normal and people are starting to drive into the office again, etc. What do the researchers think will happen?
Well, I'm afraid it's not great news, Heather. Researchers say that it's not going to last, that a rebound of worldwide carbon emissions next year is almost certain. In fact, we are seeing signs of that now in China. There are a few reasons for this, Heather. It's thought that carbon emissions from industry specifically could already be up to or even above 2019 levels. In addition, pandemic stimulus efforts from governments around the world have really focused on existing sectors, not on green new technology. But the big reason, perhaps, Heather, is measures like lockdowns are not specifically designed to cut carbon emissions to tackle climate change. They're designed to protect public health. And researchers say governments have to take more specific and targeted measures like investing in infrastructure and putting an end to investment in fossil fuels if we are to see a sustained reduction in global carbon emissions. Heather.
Dominic, thank you very much. Dominic Velitis reporting from Bristol in England this morning.